Welcome to Nicholas 11x12. Today I'm looking at the Aerocool XPredator II full tower case. This one's the new version of the original XPredator case and should come with a fair amount of improvements over its predecessor. For being a full tower case, the current price tag of just $160 doesn't seem bad at all. Thanks a lot to Aerocool for sending me this interesting case to review. In the box, the case itself obviously, and a good detailed installation guide. The XPredator II looks stunning. It makes a professional and somewhat expensive impression, and with its sort of semi-aggressive design, is a great blend of minimalism and striking shapes gamers find appealing. Obviously, Aerocool has done a complete retouch of the design with this newer version of the case, with only a few older elements left here that remind us of the original XPredator. Although I will admit, many of you know only too well, I'm not that kind of a person that's really into this type of aesthetics. I prefer minimalism and a somewhat timeless design, which is not really the case here. But that of course comes down to each person's preferences. I've asked Aerocool to send me the white version, although I should let you know there's also a black one available. The XPredator II features a nice big acrylic side panel window to show off your installed components. As I've said before, we're looking at a full tower case with dimensions of 23.2 by 59.5 by 55.9 centimeters. On the top, as for the I/O, power, reset button, power and HDD LEDs, 4 USB 2.0 ports, 2 USB 3.0 ports, headphone and mic jacks, as well as 2 fan controller switches. Built in are 2 fan controllers with support for up to 7 watts each, with 5, 7 and 12 volt levels. A very cool feature here is the external 2.5/3.5 inch drive HDD docking station. So that's fantastic I/O here. On the top we also have the shell-like vent, which can be opened for better ventilation by using that slider. The top panel in my case unfortunately is not easy to remove at all. It's been quite a hassle, although I find it's easier to do when the front panel is removed first. Pre-installed on the top are 2 quiet black 140mm fans that spin at 200 to 1200 RPM. The top also supports up to 2 120mm fans, a 120 or 140mm radiator, or either up to a 240 or 280mm radiator. As expected, no dust filter here. On the rear is a pre-installed black 140mm fan, the same model as the ones on the top. You could also install a 120mm fan here, or a 120 or 140mm radiator. However, for reasons of space when having a radiator installed on the top, you'll only be able to fit a 120mm one on the rear. And a front 3 5.25 inch drive base that unlock with these latches. The installation of such drives is toolless. The front panel, unlike the top one, comes off fairly easily, and on the panel itself there's a dust filter behind the mesh, and on the case a removable one. This one's held in place by screws, because the fans are mounted directly onto this filter. Not a bad idea, but cleaning certainly is made a bit more difficult. For this white version, pre-installed in the front are 2 140mm 200 to 1200 RPM blue LED fans. Instead of these, you could also mount up to 2 120mm fans. The front, however, I believe is not really suitable for a radiator installation. The side panels do come off easily and have acceptable flex to them. The XPredator II supports E-ATX, XL-ATX, standard ATX, micro ATX, as well as mini ATX motherboards. To keep everything as neat looking as possible in terms of cable management, this case comes with a good amount of rubber grommets, as well as holes up there. A bit over 2 centimeters on the backside gives us enough room to work on cable management. In total, this case is able to hold up to 8 2.5/3.5 inch drives, which is quite a lot. The installation of 3.5 inch drives is toolless, and as we're used to 2.5 inch drives such as SSDs for instance, are screwed onto the tray. To make room for long graphics cards with lengths of up to 46.5 centimeters, this cage with 5 HDD trays is removable. On the very bottom in the black accessory box, we're getting all kinds of screws for the PSU, motherboard, fans, ODD, HDDs or SSDs, standoffs, as well as 6 cable ties. And here we have our front panel cables and connectors, really a lot of them due to an impressive I/O, and everything's kept in black. The standard ATX power supply gets bottom mounted and rests on the 4 raised rubber feet. The whole case features 4 big case feet that allow for better airflow of the PSU. Also, we have a removable PSU dust filter, which however is screwed to the case, which I find to be a bit inconvenient, especially when it comes to this area of a case. Additionally, on the bottom can be installed either a 120 or 140mm fan. Being a full tower, this case comes with a total of 10 expansion slots, and 4 water cooling holes. The XPredator II supports long graphics cards, up to 34.2cm long ones to be exact, or up to 46.5cm when removing the HDD cage. Thanks to a pretty respectable case width, big air CPU coolers with a height of up to 17cm are supported. The net weight here is at 13.34 kilograms. Just for a quick demo, I've installed this MSI Z97 motherboard with this long graphics card, and these components fit without any problem. The Aerocool XPredator II is not perfect, that's for sure, but it's definitely a very solid case that does more than a few things right. Some aspects certainly feel cheap. By that I mean the white plastic parts, whereby simply sliding in a drive in the docking station damages the white paint and leaves marks behind, and then there also were minor complaints when it comes to the dust filters. But sure, at the price tag of $160, we simply should not expect too much. The most important parts of the case are designed well. The XPredator II certainly allows for lots of hardware to be installed, comes with a total of 5 case fans pre-installed already, and offers lots of I/O connectivity. So overall a very decent case with a good price-performance ratio. In terms of looks, well, it certainly is not my taste really. I think it looks great. Exactly what many gamers are looking for. With that said, I can definitely recommend the Aerocool XPredator II full tower case. It's not quite good enough for gold, but it clearly deserves my silver award. Thanks for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and visit my website to sometimes see videos there earlier.